Ladies and gentlemen, both and neither, do you feel the need for speed? Then stop doing drugs, because here we go. It's time for the three-headed monster! Entering the stage, give it up for Zanny the Blue! Our second head of the three-headed monster, give it up for Lord Pandens!
And I think this person needs no introduction. But seriously, Alkaline Business!
Yeah. Oh, shaky table.
Shaky table. You know that it's the three-headed monster when we put a cocktail table onto the rickety stage. I walk out and all the water spills all over the place. There's nothing more humiliating than knowing that your weight is causing dehydration.
Hey, you're just doing your Jurassic Park things. Boom. You know,
Thanks! As always, whenever you compare me to a T-Rex, I love it.
Aww.
Short, stubby arms, inability to masturbate, you know, the normal. You know, in the future, we'll be able to have dinosaurs. Zan, it's the future!
It is the future.
And
everything is electronic, supersonic. You got the old internet to get that reference. But yes, it is the future. And I realized it really is the future because I saw a freaking advertisement for the movie Dog. And I got mad because A, lazy writing, and B, it's brilliant advertising. Because you know exactly what fucking movie you're going to see when you see Dog. It's like right in the title, it's basic design, you know what you're seeing. I'm like, pretty soon, that's what everything's going to be. One world, you don't even have to be Roddy Piper and put on the goddamn glasses, you know? Like, it's just there, And just so like, pretty soon we're going to have, yes, here comes The Rock in the next Lusty movie coming up, Hump. But when we got Sandra Bullock and Hugh Grant in a romantic comedy, Love Hump. 2 words. That's really special.
That's why it's not going to succeed. No one wants a 2-word rom-com.
Yeah, he was like, lost interest. I saw love and I went right out. So like another reason I know it's the future is because I finally started my transition. So that was a long time coming. Go figure, 10 years of cross-gender commissions actually sometimes mean something. It's just long-term storytelling. Pepper actually told me this. Like he's like, I just thought you were a girl, and I met you. Like, oh, okay, and just I from all the art that I got, so I was like, hey, long payoff, you get it. Just trying to keep you interested, you know. And so, but the thing is about that is like, everyone's like, oh, you know. So when I first came out and like announced, I was like, oh, I'm so excited for your journey, and I can't wait for your journey. And I'm like, what the fuck is this journey? So I found out why it's a journey, because there's all these goddamn fetch quests. It's like you have to go and you have to, I went around all over the place for like, I dealt with bullshit for 2 months running around just trying to get stuff from my doctor. I had to hand deliver an EKG and hold it up to a camera once because they're like, oh, we have a fax machine. Like, what the fuck? You don't take that my brain. And then I think you're just trying to like justify a bad purchase from a long time ago. Is that why we're sticking with fax machines in the hospitals or something? That's my little conspiracy theory. Because like, oh, do you have a telegraph and like a pigeon airport too? Did you never get rid of that too?
It would be adorable.
It would be adorable. But then like another thing is like, yeah, you have to go and answer. The comedian in me cannot take this seriously. Like when you have to go and, so another reason it's in the journey is because to get approved, you have to go and get 3 magical notes. And they'll just be like, to get on HRT, you must answer me these questions 3. What is your real name? Zanny Blue. Why do you want to change your gender? You know, just going to the public bathroom wasn't exciting enough for me. I just need that extra excitement to like know when I have to piss, I might get maced by a Karen. It's just, it's just like, ooh, this is why something might happen. Oh boy, I hear RPG music in the back of my head right now. Oh no. And then just like, and the other, what was the last question? Oh yeah, they're like, yes, why do you want to get bottom surgery? I'm just like, wind resistance? I have anxiety from zippers, and it just solves that problem. I was out running, and he's just like, I'm freezing my dick up. Wait a minute. And so like, yeah. But other than that, honestly, my transition's been pretty great, so a lot of fun.
So I only have one question for you.
What?
You're transitioning?
Hey, gotta keep the relationship interesting, right? You can't say,
you gotta be on that one.
You're like, how can I spice it up a little bit? Let's throw this fucking curveball at Alkali.
Also, I love that two of your answers are wind resistance and freezing your dick off, because I remember a morning when you came back into the house after your morning jog, very annoyed with the world, and I said, what happened? And you said, I wore the wrong pants to go jogging, and my little friend came out to enjoy the world. I'm like, oh really? How long did it take you to notice that? Like, well, it got cold about 5 minutes into the run, so about 5 minutes too late.
Yeah, go figure. It's kind of like Zelda, except instead of free sword, it just takes a lot of work to take it away. So, but yeah, another reason I know it's the future is because, oh yeah, if you made me watch a ton of Star Trek Next Generation, and I just love it when Q just fucks with Picard all the time. It's like, oh, Q, they're all powerful and they just have no responsibility, and like, oh, we have a Q, they're billionaires. They just go around and do whatever the fuck they want. It's like, I get to see Picard just like, turn around like, what do you want, Elon?
I want to go into space.
I got the video and I decided to make a flamethrower based on it, so whoo! It's like, okay, Elon, just let him do what he wants until he goes away. And that's how I know it's the future.
You want to rebut this? You're also a Star Trek fan.
I am a Star Trek fan. I mean, how can you not like Star Trek? I was watching during, the whole lockdown time frame. They had a channel that had Next Gen, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager back to back to back. I mean, that was so great until I started realizing the three of them that way is the before, the during, and the after of a major traumatic event. Seriously, you start off with Next Generation. Hello. Welcome to the Enterprise. A ship so pretentious, we've got a British man pretending to be French as its captain. Please come to 10 Forward, where you can lounge in our comfy chairs. We put on musical renditions such as Brahms or Mozart. You can come watch as we do plays such as the bard himself, Shakespeare. We are the technological wunderkind of the Federation. And you're welcome. Then you slide into Deep Space Nine. Hi, welcome to Deep Space Babylon 5. Oops.
That's very true.
Here we are, we're on a space station with like ancient technology from the Cardassians. So you'd think they'd give us like this really great engineer who knew everything. Nope, they gave us the Uber driver from that ship. You're down on the planet, you're back on the ship. I really think Picard was like having a little too strong of an Earl Grey tea and was like, you know who deserves a promotion? That MacGuffin guy. No, O'Brien. That's his name, O'Brien. He deserves one promotion. Beep, beep. Ooh, 11 promotions. That'll work. Do we have comfy chairs and Mozart and Shakespeare? Nope. We've got the promenade with Quark's Bar. Whores and gambling right across from the local church. And you might be thinking, church? Who talks about religion in a sci-fi show? I'll get back to that later. And then you slide on in to Voyager. Hi. We lost half our crew on the first day, but we teamed up with this other crew that hates us, but it's fine.
It's fine. Our ship is pretty high tech. We actually have these cool like neural gel packs, but we can't replace them if they fail because there's no starbase nearby. I mean, we almost died one time because of cheese. Our cook made cheese and it infected the ship. We literally had a virus in the ship, but it's fine. It's fine. Our cook, who cooks all the food for the humans, is an alien who's never met humans before. It's fine. It's fine.
Someone else died from cheese? That sounds a pretty cheesy episode, honestly, I'm not gonna lie.
It was really good.
The cook's dating a 1-year-old? But it's fun. That species only lives to 10, so like if they're one, they were really only like 10 years. It's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine.
The cook's just like, they're really smart for their age. Too real.
Is he from
Anyway.
Cryptoland?
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. Alkali,
Yeah.
you like to smoke, don't you?
What?
What?
No, not
What?
cigarettes. No, I think you were telling me about something to do with smoke, and I can't remember. Was it the song "Smoke on the Water"? Was it smoking weed? I don't remember. It was something to do
You
with
are
smoke.
talking about. So, I obviously travel quite a bit to these conventions, and while traveling, I found that books on tape worked really well for me. But sometimes I needed something a little bit more upbeat, something that's going to really keep me awake. And I listened to YouTube music. I decided to listen to Shel Silverstein's The Great Smoke Off. One of my all-time favorites. I've actually performed it online. I have her, thank you. I have a rendition online, and I thought this would be a great one to listen to while I drive. So I put it onto YouTube music. I listened to one of my favorite spoken word poems. It's outstanding, but it's YouTube music, which means it needs to go to the next song. And the next song was a children's song, something akin to Barney or the like. I'm like, oh right, Shel Silverstein, a kid's author who was definitely not a kid's author, has a lot of adult material. Oh well, these things happen, skip to the next song. And the next song's a real bop, and I'm almost into it until I hear them mention Psalms 10. Like, wait a minute, what is this station? And I looked through the station, and it's Christian rock and kids songs, and there, smack dab in the middle, Shel Silverstein's The Great Smoke Off, which then led me to believe that, yes, I may have been listening to that and then went into these Christian and children's songs, but the opposite is true too. So there's some family out there on a road trip listening to children's music and Christian songs, then in the laid-back town of sunny Sandrafil lived a girl named Pearly Sweetcakes. You probably knew her well. She's been stoned 21 of her 25 years. I'm like, I want to be in the car when that happens. I desperately want to see the father slowly reaching towards the radio to skip the song, and the mother just hold out her hand and push it down and go, I want to see where this goes. Where does it go? College. Those kids are going to have a great time.
Hey, it's better education than Dare.
Dare was the single greatest thing to happen to drugs in my school. Because when they brought in the Dare officer, he goes, and I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere out there right now, there's a dealer that you all know. And someone in the back of the class goes, yeah, like Jeff. And everyone laughed. And that's the day I found out that somebody in my class was a drug dealer, and I now have access to weed. I love Dare.
They start to raise their... Oh, there they are.
Dare was an adventure, I mean, it truly was, but when it comes to adventures, you had an adventure. See, segue. Just grasping at nothing.
All right.
You had an adventure recently.
Grasping at nothing, the alkali story.
The alkali story.
No, that'd be more so mine. Anyways. Yes, I had quite an unexpected adventure in my expected adventure that I planned. I recently went up to Canada to visit my good friend Gaius. They cracked my egg, and so I wanted to go meet. That means they helped me come out to myself and transitioning and stuff like that.
Not what it meant to me the first time you said it.
What?
Like, what did you guys, did they have a hammer?
I forgot, like, not everyone knows this terminology, so...
No one knows any of the terminology you say. You're making up words and I love it.
Try going... Yeah, anyway. So I'm up in Canada, and, you know, it's your regular kind of thing. We're doing a long road trip from Quebec, Montreal, and all the way, so a halfway point we just stopped at a hotel, because, you know, 4 hours, that's kind of the general deal before we cross the border. And on the way, also, there's certain areas in Canada where, like, the law is the law. The law is, and I thought it was like Judge Dredd or something, but then it turns into a motherly tone, like exhausted driving, are you okay? It's like, I said, do you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
What is that?
I don't know what it's like. You will be charged $4,000 for speeding.
You know, if you pulled over and took a 10-minute nap, that might help you drive better.
It was just seriously, there was like both approaches. I kind of appreciated that. So we pull into the hotel and lay down to rest. Guy says, flat out. They fell asleep right away. And I'm sitting there, and I feel like a sinking in my chest, and then a weird pressure on my right. And then, like, this is freaking me out, so I try to call the guys, and I can't fucking breathe. I'm literally, for like 2 to 4 seconds, I can't call out for help. And then I could breathe. I'm like, well, that was fucked up. So I'm like, time to Google Canada 911. Guess what it is?
912.
No, it's 911.
It's 911.
That's right. So I call 911. They're like, okay, we'll send someone right away. And they're already sending the paramedics by the time I'm calling in. And she's talking to me. Like, it took me a while to realize they had already sent people a long time ago. So it's like kind of a surprise. So it was kind of fun. So like right off, I got off the phone and like, oh, they're here. And so like, I didn't want to wake guys up. They were freaking out. And I go in front of the door like, okay, so here's the deal. Like, this might cost you, it's going to cost you at least $1,200. But if we don't take care of this, you might die. I was like, did I just order a door-to-door health salesman? Like, shit, I thought that's how it works in my country. I thought this was like at least somewhat above board. But no, you're American, go fuck yourself. You were visiting. Yeah, and I was like, well... And my mind wasn't working at the time, so I'm like, well, alcohol's really gonna give me a lot of lip if I die tonight. So like, like I said, it didn't make sense. So like, okay, I'm gonna get on the freaking Mario Kart and go off to wherever, you know. And that's what we talked about. We talked about Mario Kart in the ambulance. It was fun. And then I get there, I get all the tests, and you do the dance, you do the hokey pokey. If you've never gone to the ER for heart stuff, it's great, because it's like cutting the front of the line of a roller coaster you don't want to be on. Like, it's still exciting, but oh boy, I get to go first. And you see everyone like, you get to go past everyone like, ha ha. Oh. So we get all the tests and everything, and of course, to like, I love it. The doctor I eventually talked to had to make it dramatic too, you know, give me my money's worth. Because, like, everyone was really nice, they're using my pronouns and name and stuff like that, but it's more of a Canada thing. I've been in the ER in America, they were not like that. In the ER, they're like, sir. I'm like, do I look like a fucking knight to you? Anyway, I did not see Elton John here, do not call me sir. But anyway, so yeah, they're just like, yeah, we did this test. And they did the rule of three. I'm like, this test came out fine, and this test came out fine. Now then we ran the blood clot test, and she paused. I'm like, what the hell is this? And he's like, it was fine. Like, all right, yeah. This is so worth it. What a great show. And so like, you're free to go. All right, get a cab. I'm blind because I don't have my contacts in, so that was also an adventure in itself. I'm surprised I got to my freaking hotel room. You know that. So yeah, that was my fun. But yeah, through the whole thing, guys woke up and they're like, oh, how you doing? I'm like, oh, I got some breakfast and I went to the hospital. That's all. And like, they thought I was telling a weird story. I'm like, oh yeah, from like, okay. Wait, did you say you were just at the fucking hospital? I was like, yeah, I got 2 hours of sleep after I got back at 9 in the morning. I just got like, I slept through all that? Like, yeah, don't worry about it. But the worst thing is like, and you were mad, I can see.
What? Me mad? No. Tell them why I was mad.
I forgot a detail.
What detail did you forget?
I was live tweeting the whole thing because, I was distraught, And I didn't want to bother you while it was happening.
You're so kind.
And I forgot to tell you after it was all over. So I didn't think anyone would tell you.
You didn't think anyone would tell me that you were live tweeting your travel. My friends are texting me, like, oh my God, is Zanny okay? And I don't know that any of this is happening. So my response, as always, was no. Because these are me and my friends, and this is how we talk to each other, because we're dark assholes. Like, oh my God, what's wrong with Zan? I'm like, oh, do you got an hour?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Their response is horrified. My response is mystified. And then my anger justified.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Right.
Oh, God. You monster.
Anyway.
Here's the thing. It's not like that I can really blame you. I also do very dumb things constantly, like singing to myself in my car. I go to work every day, and the radio has a lot of commercials, and I need that rage to build up on my way to work, and I want to hear these horrible commercials, but that also means I'm listening to just normal radio. And this morning, a very cold, crisp morning, a song comes on. And any of you who have heard my stand-up before know how I feel about this song, because on the radio, I'm blue and I had to listen to that song for 4 hours straight, coming home from Canada years ago playing Nero, because the guy who owned the car said, I am the only one allowed to drive it, and I need to listen to my song to stay up, and put it on loop for 4 hours until I physically took over driving and put on Jack Johnson, because I needed a palate cleanser. So I know that song backwards and forwards, and it came on, and it's been years, and I can't believe I'm listening to this, and I just started, and I am screaming in my car at the top of my lungs on a cold, crisp, dry day. And my nose starts running and dripping, but I'm enjoying them. And I'm noticing little red specks forming on my window of my car, and it's not a runny nose. I have burst a blood vessel because it is so dry out in Chicago, and I am just spurting blood. And now my only thought is like, well, I've already committed to this bit, and I don't know if the people next to me are watching, and I want them to have an interesting day.
I'll have what he's having.
I really hope someone saw that. So I get to my parking garage, and I'm kind of like, I amused myself, but then I realized, like, oh my God, I got to get to work, like, right now. I'm running late. Well, COVID's a thing. So I went into my center console, got some napkins, just started fucking my nose with them, and I put on a mask. No one's gonna see this shit, we're fine. I get to cover it up, I look totally normal. I'm talking like this, but I look totally normal. I go up to the office, and I need to walk past my desk. I need to walk past to get to the bathroom. And there on the wall is the goddamn Golden Wolf poster of me as Marilyn Monroe that they have replaced the old poster they had of me at work, which used to be me on the cover of GQ magazine with the top hat. And I see this, and I laugh. I laughed. And I felt both of them fall out of my nose. And all I know is my boss, John, who looks over at me, knowing that this poster is there. People waiting for me to come in to see my reaction. And what do they see? Big old Dan walking in. Ha! Blood pouring out of my mask. Blood shooting from my nose because it has not stopped bleeding. And all I did by putting these tissues up there was make 2 very weird tampons and a major blockage. So it is pouring from the mask in a direct line. And my buddy Trent, the asshole that he is, stands up and goes, "Fuck you, share the Coke." I'm gonna miss them. I am genuinely gonna miss some of them.
Damn.
Hey, Des, have you read any good books lately?
Oh, well, actually, no. So back to Star Trek.
What about Star Trek?
What about Star Trek? You know, here on the Enterprise, we've encountered a being called the Q a few times. He's an interdimensional being with powers, and he plays these games with us, but every time at the end, I feel that we part on good terms and a better understanding of one another. Oh, Q, I met him once, punched him in the face. Bam! Oh, John Luke never hit me. I'm not John Luke. Oh, Q, yeah, he wanted to fuck me. He wanted his Q in my continuum. And I was like, no thanks. And so then he had a kid with another Q, and I'm his godmother. It's fine. It's fine. You know, we take religion a very serious topic here on this show. We don't discuss it very often, but every once in a while we'll have an episode about faith or religion, just once every few seasons or so. But we make sure that such a topic is addressed very sparsely and very carefully. I'm Space Moses. I parted the dimensions to allow the ships to pass through to the other side of the galaxy. And then I got promoted to Space Jesus in season 7. Because I literally am the son of one of their gods. Didn't know, plot twist. And you know, we thought, well, how about we make religion every like 3rd episode of the show? Every 3rd episode. So it's like normal, ding! Oh, that's the religion alarm. Time for a religious episode. We sent our chief engineer to Klingon Hell once. She asked us to send her there. It's fine. Everything is fine. You know, when it came time to wrap up the show, we had a wonderful, wonderful episode. We had a returning villain, the Q. The Q came back. And we had time travel with the captain in the past, and the captain in the present, and the captain in the future. And we had a big battle-type scene in there, and it wrapped up with just enough time to feel satisfied and leave time for an additional few minutes for the crew to talk about the experience, and the captain joined them. And even though the show was ending, it gave the concept of, we're going to continue. Things are going to keep going. We're not going to talk about the movies, but they're going to happen. It was just the best wrap-up to a show you could possibly imagine. All right, so the first half, 1 hour, massive space battle. We had this returning enemy, the Dominion, that we've been fighting with for years. And so, you know, we're like fighting them, and then we liberate the planet, and it's like, yeah, we got the planet back. This is like 40 minutes into a 2-hour episode. Shit. Get the crooner guy from the holodeck to sing like 1940s songs and then play flashbacks of the 7 seasons. That'll be cool, I guess. Oh, bing! Oh, what's that, the religion alarm? Oh crap, how do we end this now? Oh, I know. I, Space Jesus, will fight and square off against Space Satan over a holy book in the fire caves. That's literally the end of a science fiction series show. Religious battle. And then I disappear. Do we leave it as a wonderful wrapped up show? Nope, everyone goes their separate ways and I abandon my pregnant wife. Oops, great show.
So, we wanted to do an original script. And we thought we did pretty well with the captain in the future and in the present. And a returning space villain, the Borg, came back, which has nothing to do with their plots in any way, shape, or form. And, we were like, well, we don't want like 1 hour like montage episode, so we're gonna keep the plot going, and then resolution, the show ends, and we got like 8 seconds, so we're here, bye.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
And that's Star Trek.
Well done. And that's Star Trek.
Honestly, a better journey than Star Wars, so I gotta say.
Comparing the original trilogy or the...
Oh, I don't even want to go there.
Zan just likes angering me about things I like.
That's fair.
So since you like angering me, I'm going to anger you. Here's some stupid shit Zan has done recently.
Oh, no.
So we are huge. We've been coming to this convention for years and years. I love MCFC. We've been around since it was FCN. I actually used to help in registration for FCN. One of the last paper registrations out there, which was just a riot, as we are all standing back there shuffling papers in this amazingly complex ballet, looking at each other and goes, we're literally faster than every other convention right now with registration, and we're using pencils. Screw all y'all. But we've been at this con for so long. When you're there and you're with this convention, you feel like you're home. You really feel welcome and you feel comfortable. And that comfort brings about things that you just end up doing, like walking outside at 9 at night and just going to town on like 4 joints in a row. And having fun, and then coming back inside, and I remember Zan taking the last hit of the last joint, and I watched, it was a full joint, just, and like, oh, you're Kirby, understood. And it was incredible. And they don't even like bother to exhale, they just put back on their mask and they're about to go inside. We're like, hey, are you forgetting something? Like, right. Dragon.
If I was Kirby, I would swallow the weed and press it down and turn into Weed Cat. If that,
Ooh,
yeah, there you go, you got it.
Well, Zan just blows out through his mask, and we go back inside, and we're all having a great time. We get to the elevator, and Dragor's there, a Dorsai is there, and we get onto the elevator, and Zan in the corner goes, just a little burp, and a ton of smoke. I mean, a lot of smoke, and we are dying, as none of us are smart enough to know that's not how weed works. But all of us are smart enough to know that shouldn't be how weed works. As the smoke is just billowing out, and Dragor turns around and gives us this look, because there's a Dorsai in the elevator as Zan is burping up weed. We get out of the elevator, it's like, how is this possible? What happened? And we realize, like, oh my God, the weed wasn't trapped in your burp, it was trapped in your mask and your exhale of air. That's what pushed it out. Wait a minute. That was like a good 30 seconds ago that you exhaled. You've been hotboxing yourself for 30 seconds. So now we're all up in the room, in the bathroom, like, inhale, mask on, exhale, let's go. Whee! So if you ever see us with like a puffed out mask, you know what we're doing. It was the same convention. It was the exact same convention. You know, Zan having a great time one night with Chris the Comedy Bunny. And they're right here, outside of the elevators. Zan in that beautiful, long, flowing kimono that they wear. And as they walk, they're holding a Coke. And from what Chris says, they just went like, no, and just let go. I don't know if you forgot you were holding it, which makes a lot of sense. That's a normal way that we cause messes in the house. Just, man, forgot that existed. Like, all right, fine. And there's a big old puddle on the floor. And Chris watches Zanny stare, grab one of those yellow warning slick floor signs, drop it from a height of their shoulder, bam! I solved the problem! And then fuck off into the elevator, robe blowing behind them, the door closing immediately as they enter. And Chris was just like, that was the god of slovenliness. Zanny gives so many fucks that it's come around to not giving a fuck anymore. But you know what? Credit where it's due, you solved the problem.
I solved the problem. It made sense at the time. I was very high, so yes.
You do get into a lot of adventures and trouble just because of things that you find totally normal. Like going for a walk in 3 robes.
What? It's stylish in my mind. No, yeah, I like to. We used to go on walks, and we still do. But we like to, have a good time and do a little smoking, and then get a little cardio in and just walk around the block and have our own little small pride parade. It's great. little Chicago pride parade, and then we're all in robes usually, and so we're all this little cult that everyone's afraid of, and we all have our different colors. It's great.
Our neighborhood is terrified of us.
Oh yeah. We're just like the lazy Power Rangers. It's all different color.
Well, it's really weird. Our neighborhood kind of got terrified of us because of 4th of July one year, because I have a lot of friends just in general in a bunch of different communities, and we do help out the Evergreen Park community because I run First Square and I have access to a lot of equipment. So when some kids at the end of the block decided to light a mortar and kick it over and fire it into a crowd of people that were leaving the 4th of July festival, yeah. I immediately called the guy I knew on the Evergreen Park Police Department and told him what happened. So what my neighbors saw was this happen. I pulled out my cell phone like, hey, I need you over here right now. This just happened. And within 2 minutes, about 14 cops showed up on our block, to which I could hear my neighbors like, who the fuck is that guy? He just called the SWAT team. And then, of course, what they do, because I know most of them, they all came over and had some coffee with me. So no one in our town messes with us. It's kind of amazing. But sometimes, I guess the cops mess with you.
Yes, they do. I'm just strolling at 3 a.m. like any normal person does in a robe down the sidewalk. And of course, a cop comes up and he's like, hey, buddy. I'm just like, hey. You live near here? Yeah, right there. Oh, well, you're out in a robe. Yeah? Well, it's just a little odd, just making sure you're okay and seeing you got the... Okay. And he just didn't know where to go for there. He's like, all right then. And he just goes. And I was just too confused. But oh my God. It took all my willpower not to answer with smart-ass answers right when he pulls the fuck up. He's like, hey, buddy. It's like, oh, great. Just like getting misgendered by someone with a gun. My favorite way to start a conversation. It's like, hey, buddy. Hey, girl. I'm sure he'd love that. But it's like... and he's like, oh, you're wearing a robe. It's like, that's a little weird. Why? I mean, what if someone would be scared of me? Like, if they see me in a robe and walking towards you, if anything, you think you're going to get an interesting story. Like, I'm going to try to sell you on my cult, or you might just end up, like, you wake up in a cave or something. Who knows? It'd be fun. They say you, they're like, oh boy, I might die. I think your costume is scarier than my costume. That's just so then, that was my opinion. And it's like, oh yeah, well, all right then. But it's like, wait a minute. It's like, what, was he trying to make me do this? Like, what did he think I was going to do? Like, if I wasn't dangerous, like, hey, there, what'd you do? Curse this, I've been found out. Magic missile, magic missile. It was like, I'm serious, I thought I was going to wait for that shit. So, oh my God. So that's my fun with the cops. And, yeah.
But that's the thing, robes are scary. I can think of 2 instances.
Well, hold on, yeah, exactly. Like, there's only, really, There's only 2 times that someone in a robe is going to fuck up your life. It's when they're a judge or a priest.
There you go.
Anyway.
If that happens again, you need a pair of dice on you. You'd be like, you must roll a check to see if you can converse with me, Lord Robus von Magnificent.
Yes.
I'm wearing the boots of escaping.
Right?
You are an NPC. Flee, mortal.
Or like, I escaped from the local convent. Please help me. I don't know.
It is weird. The fear of everything that is
Fear of
law
everything.
enforcement does make you do weird things because, as we all know, believe it or not, I smoke. One of the things that you learn when you smoke is on the come down. When you're totally done, you've had a wonderful night, it's time to call it, it's time to go home. There's one thing that to me still lasts, and that's that weird paranoia. After the fun is done, after the entertainment is done, the paranoia sticks around, and nowhere is it worse than when I am driving. Because I finish up, it's been hours. I've totally sobered up. I get in my car, it's time to go home. I have a long stretch down a road in Evergreen Park to get to my house, and while on that road, as I'm going, I see a cop with their lights off. And I look down at my speedometer because I used to speed excessively, and I've stopped that because I got older and wiser and broker from speeding tickets. However, at this moment I looked down and I realized I'm doing the exact speed limit. And my paranoid mind goes, that is so suspicious. Oh no, he knows. So now I'm having an internal debate with myself. Do I speed up a little bit? No, that'll be more suspicious because he knows, oh, that guy's doing the speed limit, saw me and went faster, he's high. Oh, if I go slower, everything is ruined. Who would ever? And I'm debating this in my head when the cop pulls out. And now I'm freaking out. I need a plan. I need to come up with something right now. What am I going to do to alleviate this situation? I know I need to get home, and I safely and carefully and 5 miles an hour over the speed limit, which in my mind seemed exactly right, and I don't know why. I start heading towards my house, knowing that apparently in my fucked up mind, house is ghoul. They can't arrest me if I'm on my property, right? I don't know the rules. I need to look this up. Okay, Google, how can you be arrested on your own property? It goes like, you can, especially you. So now I need a new plan. I pull into my driveway. I haven't looked behind me in miles. I have no idea what's going on. He's definitely gone. I jump out of my car, run into my garage where they're sitting there with a joint in their mouth. I quickly grab the joint. I don't know if I'm still high. I don't think I am, but if they ask, I've been here for a while and I am high, so they can't prove anything. Good night, and I just run inside. The next day, Zan goes, what the fuck was that? And I said, police brutality.
The star meter went down in your mind. It's all good. We're good. We're under 2 stars. We can go back outside.
We need
Yeah.
to set up for Who's Line. Oh yeah, absolutely, go for it. You got 5 minutes.
Yeah, real quick. One thing I've really been able to appreciate over, more recently for some reason, is unintentional comedy. And we just have a friend of ours who is she is the queen of unintentional comedy. Like, we were going on road trips, and we were going through the Dutch area, like the Dutch area where everything's like nice and, was it Michigan? Or where was
Pennsylvania
that?
Dutch area?
No.
Or
It was
literally like...
more so around, anyway, it was around somewhere around this. Anyway, Jesus Christ. But yeah, so it's like, oh, yes. Diane goes, we can go visit the Simpletons. And we're like, and like, her husband was like, Diana, that's not very nice. It's like, what? They're just very simple? And they're like, that is not what simpleton means.
I love that she sat in the front seat for 5 minutes Googling the word simpleton.
Did not believe
trying
us.
to find the answer that she wanted. Like, so what have you found? She goes, nothing. And then 5 minutes later, so now what have you found? She's like, I'm just looking at porn now. Who cares?
So with this in mind, we're together for a Christmas gathering, and we're all hanging. I actually believe it was Thanksgiving, and she was getting in the spirit. And like, oh look, I got these cute little socks. They're gingerbread men. Oh look, it says, "Let's get bread." What?
Right there.
Yeah.
Brown socks, gingerbread cookies, big white letters going all the way down from here to here. Let's get bread.
And I'm just like, did she just say, "Let's get bread"? I'm looking at Miko like, yeah?
The worst part is we almost made it through that moment. But they and I made eye contact, and we know when the other one's trying not to laugh. And seeing the stupid, constipated look on each other's faces, we absolutely lose it. To where John, Diana's husband, looks at us, "What's so funny, and is it sexual?"
Oh no, just me and Miko are like, "Oh, I like getting bread." Miko, don't you like it? I like getting bread. Oh yeah, who doesn't like getting bread? Let's go get bread, just over to the nice store. There's a bread store. I don't know.
You need to find her a pair of gingerbread socks that say "Let's get baked."
Oh!
We saw how much you like the let's get bread socks, so we found you these.
I apologize. A second ago, Zanny was obviously throwing to me with the location, and I got distracted.
No, it's okay.
I looked down at my phone to check the time, and for those of you who haven't heard, yesterday, between two panels, I took a phone call. I was just fired from my job yesterday. Thank you. Legitimately, thank you.
Seriously.
I looked down at the time. It's my boss's boss's boss. "Hey man, sorry you had to find out that way. Hope you're enjoying the weekend. Maybe keep some of the charity money for yourself."
Sounds like your coworkers.
Oh, it totally sounds like my coworkers.
That sounds like a boss's boss's boss, is what it sounds like.
So, I have a favor to ask all of you.
Alrighty.
Does everyone know this song? Every little thing is gonna be alright.
A little bit.
Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. You guys know that song? Yeah. I need you to know the line, "Every little thing is gonna be alright," because I will not give them the satisfaction. Ready? No. Unless you really want to, then sure. I'll edit it later. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Now you can flip them off. I am gonna be just fine, my friends. Thank you. Guys, thank you so much for that. We are the Three-Headed Monster. Give it up for Lord Pandez! The unbelievably gorgeous Zanny the Blue!
And the one, the only, Outlaw Pittsburgh! We are the Three-Headed Monsters. Stick around for charity. Whose line is it anyway?
It's gonna be in this room in a few minutes. Thank you very much. Enjoy the comment. Good night!
Silver Gattoman, he bought me a coffee. Silver Gattoman, here is the song for thee. He likes to video all the panels at the cons. You should go and watch them whether they are short or long. Silver Gattoman, you video that's not a jibe. All of you go to his YouTube channel and like and subscribe.